Hello ladies and gents, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at this PlayStation 5 which has been sent in. This has been sent in by a business to business customer because it's got no power. So this is an issue that I'm seeing quite a lot lately and it's rather worrisome. But that being said, a lot of the time it's down to one of a couple of issues. So the main issue that I'm seeing right now is a power supply issue. So very recently I had a PlayStation 5 which kind of blew up on me. I did film a video on that, but unfortunately, yeah, it kind of corrupted. So I ended up with the first 30 minutes. I'll leave a link to that in the video description actually, if you do want to watch that. I'm not making it public because the YouTube algorithm will penalise me for basically releasing a incomplete video. That's probably going to get a load of downvotes. It did end up being a fix, and I'm going to go over in a future video, or basically I'm going to walk through the fix that I found for it and then put it on top of that other video and release it sometime in the future, depending on when I get some spare time. So I'll basically just reenact it, sort of thing, and I'll do it that way instead. It was rather interesting. It was liquid damage, so if you do want to check out the partial video just to see some of my thought process in that, then you know, you're more than welcome to, and plus you get to see a PS5 explode in my face. But I'll leave a link to the video description in that one. I haven't actually looked at this one yet. What the hell was that? Thank you, dude. I think that's renewals. It's just gone 1 AM. Thank you, dude. Any more? Okay, back to the video. Anyway, we're going to get into this video. We're going to see what we can do about getting this fixed. But if you are new to the channel, then please remember to hit subscribe and turn on the bell notifications. Stop being a meanie. It only takes a second. So listen to the screen up there. You're a meanie unless you press subscribe. Anyway, if you do want to support the channel, you may have just seen that you can become a channel member. Click on the join button below the video and you can support the channel that way, or you can head over to Twitch and you can become a Twitch Prime subscriber, and that's absolutely free to do. It doesn't cost you a penny. All you got to do is either create a Twitch account or log into your existing Twitch account, link an Amazon Prime account to Twitch, and then you can subscribe to one channel every month for free. You have to do it manually every month, so you do have to renew it manually every month, but it takes literally a minute every month, and it's free for you to do. Helps me to keep making videos. One other thing before I do get into the video, you may notice a bit of a mess behind me, and that's because over the past couple of days I've been working on building a new bench, which is in front of me now. I've got a camera in front of me so I can get a full-on face cam. I know you probably don't want to see a face cam, but it's okay. You know, I'll get to the overhead cam in a second. Don't worry. You don't have to put up with them for much longer. But I've been working on a new bench, and all of the crap that you see behind me is stuff that I've picked up from random locations and just threw on the desk so I can sort it out when I get time. And yesterday I ran out of time because I had to live stream, and that's because I always live stream on a Friday. And I haven't had no time today because I'm rather busy this weekend. So yeah, I will get to cleaning that up when I can be asked. So yeah. Alright then, anyway, let's get into this video and hopefully we can get this fixed. This video was made partly possible by using Zilch. Zilch is a pay in 4 app which allows you to split the cost of payments and also to earn rewards based on what you purchase. If you take a look at my Zilch here, I'm not sponsored by Zilch, but I am part of their affiliate program, so you can get £15 in rewards every time you refer someone, and the person that you refer, for example, if I refer you, then you also get £15 completely free, just for signing up. So if you take a look at my Zilch here, I have an amount available to split. That's usually £400, but I do have a purchase which I've split. If we take a look at some of my purchases here, we've got one that's open, next payment on Thursday, but that is being refunded. I'm waiting for eBay to refund me. But if you take a look here, I do use this for my everyday shopping. So I spend it in Morrison's using contactless on my card. I spend it on eBay. And the majority of things, even my car finance, I pay that by card every month. And on the 28th of this month, I did pay £320 to my car finance. And I've done all of that through Zilch. So I get cash back. I get 2% based on the single tick items and then I won't get cash back if I choose to pay in full. Sometimes I press the wrong button and choose to pay in full, but most of my purchases I do pay in full, and I earn 2% cash back. So I've got my card enabled already, so if I click on shop in store, you'll see that I've got the card enabled, and it's enabled for Google Pay, and I've also selected to enable pay in full. I'm going to load up eBay, and I need a new silicone desk pad. So I need a heat resistant desk pad. £7.91, which is fine. Click on buy now. And don't worry about my address being public, that's fine. My address is public anyway. But you'll see here that I can choose to pay through Google Pay. And then as you can see, we've got MasterCard 6002, which is the same card as on Zilch. It will automatically bounce off this virtual card and take it straight from your bank if you choose to pay in full. So if I click continue, and you'll see that I've earned 21 Nectar points, which is fine. But the main thing here is that I've paid through Zilch. So you can see here that we've just checked out for £7.91 for your purchase on eBay, and boom, I've earned rewards. Yes, it's only 16 pence for this transaction, but if you use this literally for all of your shopping and pay for everything on contactless through your phone, then you'll earn cash back on everything, 2%. It doesn't sound like much, but as you can clearly see here, it does add up. So check out the link in the video description. If you sign up with my link, then you'll get £15 just for signing up. You can use that towards a purchase. You can buy something on eBay, so maybe you need a part or something, or maybe you just want to treat yourself to a new t-shirt. Who knows? But either way, use the link in the video description. This video isn't sponsored, but it is a very, very good service. I'm not a financial advisor. I generally only use this for paying on eBay in full or paying for my purchases in full. So I'm not giving financial advice, but it is recommended that you at least check them out and consider it. Now back to the video. So apparently this has been sent for no power, and it's been sent by another business, so I haven't actually tested it yet. I always like to make a video on PlayStation 5 whenever I possibly can. So we are going to get into it and get some gloves ready. Got to get the pink gloves. So we are going to test it first, and then hopefully we'll be able to figure out what's going on and get it fixed. Okay, and this looks like it's a single beep, but absolutely nothing at all. So no blue light. I've seen this a few times now. And what happens is it's a single beep, we don't get a blue light, but nothing actually happens, and it won't attempt to power on for another 20 seconds or so, and then all of a sudden it will try and power on again. So I'll keep pressing this button. About 20-30 seconds later, it will attempt to power on again, and again nothing happens. It's not normally the power supply, but we are going to take it apart to see what we can do and hopefully get it fixed. It's generally going to be something to do with either there's a fuse on the board called F7002, and it's a 5 volt to 3.3 volt regulator. And basically that tends to become short, and just replacing that chip normally fixes it. But if it's not that, then a lot of the time it is down to a capacitor on a 5 volt line on the other side of the board, so on the APU side of the board. So we'll take a look. This hasn't been messed with by the look of it, which is always good to see. But we'll take a look, and hopefully we're going to be able to fix this. I am going to fast forward through the disassembly process, but yeah, this is an issue that I'm seeing more and more often. And again, this is another console which appears to have been kept in fairly good condition. Can't see any evidence of any drop. It looks like it's fairly new, and yeah, it's kind of worrying for these consoles. I mean, we are what, less than 2 years in, and already these are literally dying like nobody's business. So it's kind of ridiculous, really, how much they're dying. So yeah, I'll fast forward through this, and I'll pick it up when I'm inside the console. Right, okay, here we go then. So never actually used the glove for some reason, not sure why. But yeah, one of the worrying things about this, while I just heat up these bits of foam, so I can get them off. So one worrying thing about this is a new revision. So this is going to be the EDM 020 board, I believe. I want to try and remove these so as I can stick the antenna back down afterwards. So yeah, I don't like to destroy the foam or even these pieces of sticky paper here if I can help it. This one seems to have been destroyed, but it's okay. So what I do is I heat up those bits of foam, and then with the stickers, I just use a bit of isopropyl alcohol on a cotton swab. Just let a little bit of that soak in, and what that does is it softens the adhesive long enough for me to be able to remove the sticker without damaging it, but it also dries very, very easily, and the adhesive will become sticky again. So in 5 minutes or so, this is going to become sticky again and allow me to stick the antenna back down afterwards, which is pretty cool because it saves it flapping around in the wind. There we go. Sweet. So yeah, one of the worrying things about this is the fact that this is a newer revision. It's the one with the smaller heatsink, and it's also, I believe, as far as I know, they started the EDM 020 when they released this newer heatsink revision. I haven't seen many of them, and the ones I have seen, apart from HDMI ports and extra screws, apart from HDMI ports, it's always been single beep, no light, no power. And I don't think I've successfully fixed one yet. So yep, EDM 020, which was released last year or early this year. So it's very, very, very doubtful that it's going to be the power supply, because it is attempting to turn on. I am going to just remove these screws from the heatsink, and then I'm going to plug it back in and just test my voltage on the power supply and just make sure we are getting 12 volts. But if it was the power supply, as a general rule, it's going to attempt to switch back on. Or rather, it's going to show at least a blue light. So very, very, very doubtful that it's going to be the power supply. So let's just plug it in. And now I can get to the power supply, I can test at the terminals. So multimeter in voltage mode then. We're going to pop one random probe on ground, and the other probe on the 12 volt rail, which is this big rail here. So anywhere on here, any part we can see copper, and 12.14 volts. That is pretty much dead on what I would expect to see. And we don't get any voltage drop when I do press the power button. Okay, so the disk drive button is not going to work because the disk drive is not plugged in, or at least it's not detecting it on this connector here. But we're not getting any voltage drop at all when I actually attempt to turn it on. Yep, absolutely none, which means the power supply is not going into protection mode. So again, very doubtful it's going to be that. So we've got F7002 here, and this, like I said, is a 5 volt reg. Interesting. We get nothing. We do get 5 volts there though. Let me just pop this under the microscope. I'm going to show you what I'm actually looking at because it's a little bit far away. So just here on the top side of the board, as you open it up, we do have F7002 here. So F stands for fuse. When I probe this fuse on the input side here, we're getting 5 volts, which is completely normal. 5.14 volts, that's what I would expect to see. I would also expect to see 5 volts on the other side of the fuse because it's a fuse. It's supposed to have continuity, and we're getting absolutely nothing. In fact, we're getting 0.1 millivolts. That to me tells me that the fuse is short, and if we're not getting any voltage here, then this fuse is blown. So the short can only be this side of the circuit. It can't be on this side, because if it was this side, it wouldn't pick up on this side, and this side would show up as short as well, and it's not. So we definitely have a blown fuse. and by the looks of it, we've also got a short, and I'm going to say that the short is going to be just here on this chip here. So yeah, let's take a look. So one thing you can't do is test for a short when you've got power applied to the machine. So I'm going to unplug that, and it shouldn't take long for the power to drain. But now we should not be getting 5 volts. That should be dropping pretty rapidly. Draining, draining, draining. Down to millivolts. And now we shouldn't show up as short. We should also not see anything on here. Well, I mean, there's a volt or so, but it's pretty close to being drained. And in fact, I'm just going to lift up the board a minute and disconnect it from the power supply. So you'll notice I've moved that out of the way because that does get in the way. Let's move that and that as well. So if we flip the board around back onto the back side, I'm going to be looking at this area here. So I'll pop under the microscope again because that way you're going to be able to see it. Let's take a look at this then for just a second. So F7002 is essentially a 5 volt input, and it converts to 3.3 volts. So we have 5 volts coming in here. Actually, no, I don't think it does. I think on the new revision, on the old revision, it was 5 to 3.3, but I think on the new revision, this specific chip does 1.8. I think that slightly changed the circuit around a little bit. But basically, if we go into continuity mode, that's the mode that's going to beep when we complete the circuit. So what should happen is we should get a beep when I probe the fuse. And I'm not. I did get a slight beep, but that was residual current because this side of the fuse is directly shorted to ground. So basically, a lot of the time when you've got a little bit of residual current in a circuit, what will happen is when you touch ground with the other side in continuity, it will very, very briefly beep for a slight second. And then as soon as that current gets drained, it's off to the races, stop beeping. So we should be getting continuity on this fuse, and we're not. So if we pop one probe on ground and we test this side of the fuse, so actually we can use this as a ground here. So this is ground here where it's marked F7002. So if I probe here, you'll see we get a beep. And we don't get a short here. We do get a short here, and that is not normal. Now, that's going to be the reason that the fuse blew, and you can see we've got a mark here as well, and also a mark on this capacitor. So this capacitor is also going to be showing up as short, but it looks like there's been a serious amount of heat. So we get a short there as well, all over here apart from there. I'm assuming that's a high value resistor, and same with that, but we shouldn't be getting short. Oh, hold on. I was testing the wrong side. That is ground. Yeah, never mind. Alright, well, this isn't ground anyway. So it looks like we've got a short somewhere here, but it stops here. Right? So unless this coil has blown, which is pretty doubtful. Yeah, so the coil hasn't blown. So it looks like we've got a short somewhere here. So that's fairly easy to kind of pinpoint because there's not that many places that it could possibly be. So I'm going to start by removing the easiest. I don't know what this chip is. Maybe someone can help me identify it. But I believe it handles 1.8 volt regulation on the EDM020 board. So I'm going to remove the easiest thing to remove, which is going to be this cap here. So the cap that's just above the fuse. I'm not going to change the fuse until I manage to resolve that short. So what the plan is here is I'm going to remove the cap. If that doesn't clear the short, then I'll remove the chip. If that doesn't clear the short, then it looks like we'll need to get voltage injection and use the thermal camera to pick it up. So I've got my hot air set at 480 degrees Celsius. This is a high temperature area. So I'll just pop that to one side for a minute. Let's just get it off my tweezers, because if it's not shorted, I don't want to lose it. That cap doesn't look healthy. So I'll put one probe on ground again. Still short, and the cap isn't short. So we can't really test that in circuit purely because, oh damn it, I've lost the cap. I would have changed it anyway, to be fair. But we can't test that in circuit because we have a short there. We've got an active short there. So, well, not an active short because that's actually a term for an actual different type of short. We've got a short that's still showing there. That's what I meant to say. So I think an active short is just a short when there's power applied to the machine. I think, I could be wrong. So I'm going to remove this chip. There we go. So I am going to definitely save the chip and make sure that I don't lose that. Because I've only got one board with that chip on. And I don't know the chip. Don't know what it is, don't know what it, where to get it from, or the part number for it. So let's test again and see if we still have a short to ground here. Yes, we do. That's not good, is it? Alright. So let's just move this chip. I'm going to put it safely to one side. One thing I'm going to do, I've just realised something. This is burnt here on this bunch of wires. That bunch of wires goes elsewhere. So this is a 5 volt short, not a 3.3 volt. So let's have a look on the other side of the board quickly. So the other side of the board actually leads to pretty much the exact same circuit, but on the other side of the board. It's pretty much identical, apart from the fact that there's no fuse on this because it's on the other side. So let's just see if this side is shorted. So this is the area where it pretty much leads to. Sometimes when we've got a short around here and when we've got a short on the other side of the board, we kind of end up having a shorted HDMI encoder or a shorted South bridge. Not a problem, I do have spares. I do have spare encoders, I have spare South bridges, but yeah, it kind of puts us up shit creek without a paddle. So let's just use the multimeter again and let's just see if we've got a short around here. We do. We do. Let's see if we've got a short on the encoder. I should have checked all of this first, to be honest. No. No shorts around the encoder by the look of it. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be grounding this. So I'm going to put one probe on a ground point. So that's permanently grounded now. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be starting off at 1 volt and I'm going to be injecting 1 volt into this area here. And we get a full 5 amps of current draw. Safe bridge doesn't get warm. So let's just tip a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on here. Hello, I hear sizzling. And it looks like this cap is short. Maybe. So the reason I say that is because if you take a look at everything there, the cap is the only thing which dried off. And what happens when you apply heat to isopropyl alcohol? It evaporates. And usually the place which is getting hot is going to be the shorted component. There we go. I can always grab these caps off a donor board. So we definitely have a short on this line, so I can just test directly to here. And yes indeed. So we've got a short this side. No short that side. So that short is gone. We now no longer have a 5 volt short. So first of all, I'm going to need to replace this cap. That cap was definitely shorted. And in fact, if I grab this cap back, I think it was this one that's on the bench here. If I grab this cap back, yeah, oh yeah, that was shorted. It pinged off, but that was shorted for definite. Cool, that's absolutely beautiful. And that is hilarious how Sony keep using the wrong value capacitors and causing them to burn out, or at least inferior capacitors, just to save themselves a couple of cents. not even a couple of cents. It's like a couple of cents per 1,000 that they're saving. It's ridiculous. So we replace that solder there with some leaded solder. And I'm going to grab myself a donor board. I'll steal that cap. And then I'm going to steal the fuse and I'm going to put the fuse straight on. Okay. So I've got the fuse pinched together in my tweezers. I'm going to flip the board around on here. And there's that missing cap. Or one of them at least. Okie dokie. I'm going to try and do this one-handed now. And the reason is because I've still got that fuse in my hand. Wow. That fuse is pretty messed up. I'm going to have to let the fuse go and hope I can find it afterwards. Usually I can just knock those off with the iron. It's not having none of it, it's just mangling the fuse up. There we go. That's better. Just going to re-tin this area then. So I'm going to pre-prep all of this. There we go. Okay, so there's a replacement fuse. Here's a replacement cap. Slightly different size, but they are the same value. And here's the chip that I took off. There we go. And for this side, god damn it, pinged off on me again. So again, slightly different size, but it doesn't matter. Right, let's just give it a quick clean up. Actually, that's a little bit close to that coil. And it's not on the same circuit at all. That's got enough clearance. And there we go, beautiful. Let's just double check a couple of things. So first thing I'm going to check is the clearance on here, because it is a slightly bigger gap or slightly bigger cap, and that is absolutely fine. One thing we could do here is just check for continuity from here to here, because it is an inductor. So no continuity there, which means it's not shorted. Let's check continuity to here. Yep, that fuse is good now. No short to ground either, which is fantastic. And I think we are good to go. Alright, so just to put it into context, that is not the first time I've found that that circuit short. Not even close. And I'm just one guy in this loft, right? So how many of these are actually failing? Because I've got a feeling it's more than a few. I've got a feeling it's more than a few, which is really, really bad to see. Because I know I said that these are 18 months old, but technically these are not. These are less than a year old. This should still be under warranty. I'm not sure why this has been sent to me. But I'm not one to argue with warranty. This has been sent by another business, so I don't even have direct contact with the customer. So I can't really question it, if that makes sense. It's not really my duty to question it. I do work for other businesses, and you know, they deal with the customer themselves, not me. Alright, so since this is pretty much a brand new console, I'm not changing this liquid metal. It's not needed. The good thing about liquid metal is it's designed to have a very long shelf life, and also you can manipulate it and basically reuse it. Okay, so we're just going to get this ready to power on. So you might be wondering, why did I go straight for F7002? And that's because it's just natural instinct, because these fail so often, I just automatically check it. It's the first thing I always check. Anyone who watches any of my live streams, where I work on PS5 with no power on live streams, the first thing anyone says to me is check F7002, because it's just so common. And they've tried changing the circuit. It's a new circuit on the EDM20. So they've tried changing the circuit and they're still getting the same issues, where that particular circuit is shorting out. Okay, let's give it a whirl. Need I say more? Need I say more? It's working. It's working. That's all, folks. Well, sort of. I do need to make sure we've got a display, but we should have no problem with the display. I don't think I even need to put it on the capture card, to be honest with you. Says it all. It says it all. Let me just grab a USB-C cable here. Yep, as you can see, it's working perfect. Or rather, it appears to be working perfect. Yep, beautiful. Time is a little bit wrong. That will update when it gets connected to the network, but that's kind of to be expected. So yeah, I mean, what more can I say? The reason I went straight for F7002 is just because it is so common. It's probably one of the most common failure points on a PlayStation 5, and it's not normally the cap in that area, it's normally the chip, but that was on the EDM010 board, so maybe they're just using inferior products all round. I don't know, but that appears to be working absolutely fine, as you can see. And yeah, I mean, it's just disconnected the controller because I haven't got the antenna plugged in. But yeah, it appears to be working absolutely fine. Replacing that cap, and it's working beautifully again. So yeah, that's going to be for this video. I've been filming for 50 minutes, not including the disassembly time because I did pause the video. But I've been filming for 50 minutes, and that's including diagnosing it and explaining everything on camera. So yeah, I could probably fix this in about 20 minutes. It's a very common issue, and it's a very easy fix. So that's going to be for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll always do my best to answer. If you do want to organise a repair, if you don't feel like you're either capable of doing it yourself or you don't have the tools to do it yourself, I'm more than happy to take a look, obviously for a fee, but I'm more than happy to take a look and try and fix yours. Not all problems are the same, but you know, some of them are easy, some of them are hard, and it just turns out that this was a fairly easy one. So get in touch, link in the video description to my website. You can book in the repair and you can send it over as a made in repair. Drop it off in person if you're local to me. I do get a few people that do that, so if you're more than welcome to drop it off in person if you are local to me. But just get in touch and I'll see if I can help you out. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on bell notifications. Stop being a meanie and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. It makes me look a little bit more popular, and yeah, it makes my parents really proud of me. If you do want to support me, if you find these videos helpful in any way, shape or form, then you can head over to Twitch and become a Twitch Prime subscriber if you've got Amazon Prime, completely free for you to do, and it's massively help out the channel. There's also a link to my Patreon in the video description and some direct donate links as well. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye for now.